Tonight on CTV News, a community terrified.
If you have lost faith in the police, that is misguided. The police are out there, they're doing their job.
Police on the hot seat as another shooting targets a Surrey business. How many people have they tracked down in this crime wave? And pricey Pokemon cards stolen from a New Westminster store. The wild robbery, part of a growing trend across North America.
It's obviously a very traumatic and horrific scene for them to uncover.
A BC teen is identified as the person found dead on an Australian island. How she's being remembered by friends and family.
This is CTV News with me, Jung Lee.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with police on the defensive as bullets keep flying in the extortion crime wave. The task force insisted they are rooting out those behind the violence. They provided an update to media today at a news conference in Surrey that at times got testy. CTV's Ben Nesbitt reports.
If you have lost faith in the police, that is misguided.
Assistant Commissioner John Brewer shooting down insinuations that police are losing control of the situation.
The police are out there, they're doing their job, both locally and provincially and nationally.
Brewer says the task force has reported 111 foreign nationals to immigration authorities, taken over 32 investigative files, and logged more than 1,000 exhibits of evidence as part of its work so far.
We will continue to hunt them. We will root them out from every dark corner they try to hide in, and we will either put them before the courts or they will be deported.
Despite those efforts, police say extortion remains a serious problem across the Lower Mainland. Surrey police alone have reported 35 extortion attempts so far this month. 8 of those have included gunfire. Reports have now also come to light that some victims have responded by firing shots of their own. While Brewer insists this is not a crisis, others disagree.
I beg to differ. Anytime the public feels that they have to take measures into their own hands, that's a crisis of credibility for the police and law enforcement services. The crisis of validity for them is that they're not able to keep the public safe.
The latest reported extortion came early Tuesday morning. Surrey police say officers were called to a reported shooting in the 7200 block of King George Boulevard around 4:30. Police say a business and several vehicles were damaged by gunfire. The business was unoccupied at the time and no one was injured. Anyone with information about any recent incident or threat is asked to contact authorities.
We will take it serious. Doesn't matter who you are. We take this serious and we will work that file to the full extent we can.
Ben Nesbitt, CTV News, Surrey.
The man who made the 911 call that led to the violent confrontation between Miles Gray and 7 Vancouver police officers took the stand today at the public hearing into Gray's death. CTV's Ben Milger has more on the fateful events in the summer of 2015 that turned out to be the last moments of Gray's life.
On the second day of the public hearing into the death of Miles Gray, a pair of civilian witnesses testified about his behavior and demeanor that day, which they both found troubling and disturbing. One of those witnesses called the police after Gray allegedly sprayed a woman with a garden hose. Muhammad Reza testified he heard his mother yelling at someone in his front yard, and when he went out, he found his mother soaked and Gray standing nearby holding a garden hose. Reza told the hearing he called 911 and observed Gray from a distance until police arrived. He described what happened when a lone female VPD officer approached Gray. He got aggressive and she got scared and she closed the door. The window was open a little bit and he tried to grab the window and she screamed. That officer, Constable Hardeep Sahota, called for backup, and then she and other responding officers followed Gray into a residential yard. At a coroner's inquest, the officers described Gray as non-compliant and combative. 7 officers took part in the violent confrontation, and when it was over, Gray was dead in the yard with his hands cuffed behind his back and his ankles bound together. The lawyer presenting evidence for the hearing does not plan to call any witnesses from the Independent Investigations Office, but wants to introduce IIO documents through other witnesses. Lawyers for the respondent officers have strongly objected. So far, the adjudicator has allowed one IIO document to be admitted, but this could be a very contentious issue as the hearing continues. Ben Milger, CTV News, Vancouver.
Could job action leave ambulances sitting empty? The BC Paramedics Union is calling for a veteran mediator to step in as it warns of an upcoming strike vote and what that might mean for patients. CTV's Michelle Bernaro has more.
BC has one of the biggest ambulance services in North America, covering an area nearly 1 million square kilometers. But the union representing paramedics says the service is only kept afloat by its members working overtime.
There's times where I've been at work where the entire shift is people working on overtime.
And that reality could prove a problem. The Ambulance Paramedics of BC is in contract negotiations and planning a strike vote early next month. The union says essential service levels mean BC wouldn't ever see all paramedics walk off the job. However, there would still be impacts.
If members decide that in this climate that they don't want to work overtime anywhere near to the levels that they work, it is going to have profound implications, especially in rural, remote, and Indigenous communities. We consider any type of strike, regardless of essential service orders, to be life-threatening for the citizens that we serve. And we're really trying to just do everything we can to get a mediator installed.
But the Health Employers Association says BC has robust essential services requirements for the health sector to prevent immediate and serious danger to the health of the public in the case of any job action. Meanwhile, the union says it's concerned about ER closures during any potential job action.
So if we all of a sudden continue to see ER closures and there's any interruption in ambulance service in those communities, we're talking worst case scenario.
The union is calling for veteran mediator Vince Reddy to help with contract negotiations. The union says the sticking point is flex money, which can be used for things like increasing night shift premiums or overtime pay. The HEA says it's invited the union back to the table. Michelle Bernaro, CTV News, Vancouver.
Some of the biggest companies in the natural resource sector are in our province tonight for a massive conference talking cooperation, exploration, and jobs. The premier is there with government leaders of all stripes as critical metals and minerals loom large on the world stage. CTV's Penny Davos explains.
This photo op formalizing the next phase of a planned LNG project kicked off the 3-day BC Natural Resources Forum, bringing together governments, First Nations and companies.
We in BC, because of what's happened before, because of the work done before, by generations before, are a central player.
There's no question critical metals and minerals are a key issue on the international stage at the moment, from the Premier's trade mission to India.
They want to know which metals and minerals are being brought forward.
To the U.S. President's fixation on mineral-rich Greenland.
Even though there are a lot of resources to be had, it may not be profitable to ever extract a large quantity.
And the World Economic Forum underway in Switzerland.
Canada has what the world wants. We are an energy superpower. We hold vast reserves of critical minerals,
which makes Canada in general and British Columbia in particular
Canada's largest copper producer and only producer of molybdenum.
An attractive option for companies eager to source the components vital to everything from smartphones to cutting-edge weapons.
Silica, silver, zinc, and more than half of Canada's critical minerals.
And if we're going to continue to grow it, I mean, this is the right group of people in the room to have those discussions.
Including the First Nations governments and companies keen on resource extraction, like the Sillicim's floating LNG terminal near Prince Rupert.
A moment for the Indigenous people to help Canada grow strong.
Premier David Eby is giving the keynote address to the forum's 1,600 delegates, with 8 of his cabinet ministers in the audience. It's another sign demonstrating just how vital natural resources are to his plans to sustain BC's economy through turbulent political and economic times. Penny Davos, CTV News, Vancouver.
The persistent fog that's been blanketing the city for days isn't going anywhere. Environment Canada has even extended the fog advisory that's in place. And while the thick mist creates a dramatic and beautiful backdrop for photographers, the near zero visibility is a serious safety hazard. Here's CTV's Yasmin Gandam.
A fog advisory continues to be in effect for Metro Vancouver, with the haze getting worse overnight and into the morning. Take a look at this video from the morning commute in East Vancouver today. Very little visibility on the roads.
We have what's called a ridge of high pressure that has moved in off the coast of California up towards the province of BC, and it's basically just stopped there.
The fog warning covers most of Metro Vancouver, including Vancouver, Burnaby, Richmond, Surrey, and the airport. Passengers at YVR are advised to check online before heading to the airport in case of any flight cancellations, as YVR says pilots are also having trouble viewing the runway due to the fog. Environment Canada says the prime source of moisture is the Strait of Georgia.
Areas like Boundary Bay, Burrard Inlet, areas that are closer to the moisture source will likely feel more effects of the fog. So the further east you go towards, Surrey and east, you can still see that low fog stratus potential. But as you continue to ride east, that's when you start to kind of limit that moisture source.
The advice is to allow yourself extra time to get to where you're going. Use your headlights, not your high beams, and use extra caution with a foggy commute. Yasmin Gandham, CTV News, Vancouver.
And it's 6:10. Let's take a look outside from Grouse Mountain. The fog still persisting over the city. It looks pretty cool, though, but when it's dark and foggy, it can be a challenge driving.
Exactly, and we do have fog advisories in place as we head into tomorrow. That is for inland and East Vancouver Island. The Sunshine Coast was added this afternoon, and Metro Vancouver. So limited visibility as we head through the overnight hours into tomorrow afternoon. So expect foggy conditions. Cool, dropping down to 1 degree. Into tomorrow morning, we will start off foggy, but it does clear up quite nicely. Mostly sunny skies through the afternoon and a high of 8.
CTV Weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Make the most of your next vacation by booking with those who've been there. Visit expediacruises.ca.
And the sunny stretch continues. I've got your full forecast coming up.
Yeah, it's always great when the sun is able to break through the fog.
Finally, exactly.
All right, thanks, Ann. We'll have the latest on the BC woman found dead on an Australian beach. As the investigation into her death continues, the family of the 19-year-old Vancouver Island woman is speaking out about their loss. And
it causes these newer paddles to hit the ball harder.
A warning to pickleball players why certain rackets can fire explosive shots, potentially injuring people. And a wild robbery at a New Westminster Collectibles store. The owner posting video of the smash and grab targeting valuable Pokemon cards. That's ahead. A 22-year-old driver was recently pulled off the road for speeding in a car that police say was held together with duct tape and wishful thinking. The makeshift modifications included rebar and duct tape in place of a rear window and a welded gate latch to secure the driver's side door. The car was clocked going 130 kilometers an hour in an 80K zone on Highway 3. Police say it was amazing it could go that fast without disintegrating. The father of a Campbell River teen who was found dead in Australia delivered a heartbreaking tribute today, saying the family's hearts are shattered. Their 19-year-old daughter, Piper James, had been backpacking through the country with a close friend. CTV's Andy Garland has the story.
She loved taking her dogs and the Forerunner up to the lake.
Brianna Falk remembers her close friend Piper as someone who had a hard exterior.
Once you got to know her, she was a big softie.
Taya Savard was Piper's best friend for many years.
She was fun. She loved music, like dancing. That was, I think, our main thing.
The two were shocked to find out that the young Campbell River woman was the Canadian citizen found dead on a beach in Australia.
I received a call from the friend probably about like 7 o'clock at night. So I did not sleep last night. I've kind of just been going down a rabbit hole of trying to make sense of any of this. because it doesn't really make sense.
Piper's parents tell CTV News she was in Australia with a close friend for a 5-month backpacking trip. And in a Facebook post, Piper's father, Todd, says, "Our hearts are shattered as we share the tragic loss of our beautiful daughter, Piper. We will always remember her infectious laugh and her kind spirit."
She didn't like to be the center of attention unless she was doing something really cool, like firefighting or motocross. She loved that.
Police in Australia say it's too early to speculate on cause of death. But when her body was discovered on the beach, she was surrounded by a pack of wild dogs.
We simply can't confirm whether this young lady drowned or died as a result of being attacked by dingoes.
Friends were shocked to hear the possible circumstances surrounding her death, but did know she loved the water.
I would hope that it was the ocean, but I don't believe it. She was a very strong swimmer. If it was between them hurting her while she was alive and them just finding her after, I hope that it was after.
Piper's parents plan on flying to Australia to bring her home after an autopsy is complete. Andy Garland, CTV News, Campbell River.
The owner of a new Westminster Collectibles shop is speaking out after thieves smashed their way in and stole thousands of dollars worth of Pokemon cards. The store was cleaned out in minutes, and the brazen robbery was all caught on several surveillance cameras. CTV's Shannon Patterson has the story.
Come on in, guys. Check out our store.
This is what the owner of Everything J&J walked into Monday morning after an overnight smash and grab at his new Westminster Collectibles shop.
I got up to the shop and everything was pretty much smashed. All the glass, the entrance, the door entrance was smashed.
The store surveillance video captured footage of 4 hooded thieves dressed all in black, smashing through the front door just after 4 a.m.
It seemed very planned and plotted, to be honest. They definitely went straight for a certain type of product.
And that product was Pokemon cards.
They really didn't have a focus on anything else in the store. Just the English Pokemon sealed, and they went right for it and left right away. They were probably in and out within like 4 or 5 minutes, tops. They had a getaway vehicle all lined up, ready for them and everything.
Guyan estimates between $10,000 and $20,000 worth of the collectible cards were stolen.
It's definitely disheartening. We put a lot of hard work into the shop. We do a lot of stuff for the community. It's just, it's very tough to see, and it's especially becoming more and more common, which is even scarier to see.
Pokemon card robberies in the United States are on the rise, and in some cases, thieves there have been armed.
I believe that this same group of people is involved in other robberies locally as well. I know that there's another store that mentioned that they had some issues, and their surveillance happens to be the same people matching the same description with the same vehicle and everything. So it doesn't seem like it's their first time doing this.
Guyan is asking local Pokemon collectors to call police if they suspect someone is trying to sell them stolen product.
We have a strong community behind our backs, and the Pokemon community itself is a very tight-knit family, more or less. So there's a lot of like-minded people that will definitely keep an eye out.
With damage to his store mostly repaired, Guyan is upgrading his security system, hoping to prevent another costly smash and grab. Shannon Patterson, CTV News, New Westminster.
Prime Minister Mark Carney received a standing ovation today after his bold speech to world leaders as Donald Trump eyes Greenland. Also ahead.
Oh, avalanche, avalanche, avalanche.
A skier triggered an avalanche today at Lake Louise, and it was all caught on camera. A very lucky day for this skier. Details ahead.
Murdered in Mexico.
He was sleeping next to her body.
A family torn apart.
I just want to know what happened that night.
After her boyfriend is found not guilty.
I have never seen anything like this.
Watch Saturday at 7 on CTV and Crave.
Oh, avalanche, avalanche, avalanche. Avalanche.
Dramatic video from Lake Louise captured the moment someone got caught in an avalanche today. Parks Canada says the skier triggered the slide while just outside the ski area boundary. It was rated as a 2 on a scale of 5, which Avalanche Canada says is about the size of a football field. The skier was carried to the bottom, buried to their waist, and lost their skis, but was not hurt. Strong words from Canada's Prime Minister today while addressing leaders at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland. Without mentioning the U.S. President, Mark Carney said the rules-based world order is fading while reaffirming Canada's support for Greenland. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver now with more on Carney's remarks, which triggered a rare response from the room.
Nestled in the usually calm mountains of the ski town Davos, a chaotic meeting of hundreds of politicians and top business leaders at the World Economic Forum that this year Prime Minister Mark Carney used to deliver a frank message about the future.
The old order is not coming back. We shouldn't mourn it. Nostalgia is not a strategy. But we believe that from the fracture, we can build something bigger, better, stronger, more just.
Carney declared the U.S.-led world order dead and said countries must turn inward now that it's clear integration can lead to subordination.
Call it what it is, a system of intensifying great power rivalry where the most powerful pursue their interests using economic integration as coercion.
Withstanding those economic shocks, the Prime Minister said will require like-minded countries to pivot, to work together to hedge uncertainty. While Trump's name was never mentioned, Carney did call on middle powers like Canada to push back against domination by great powers, using tariffs as leverage and supply chains as vulnerabilities to be exploited.
In a world of great power rivalry, the countries in between have a choice. Compete with each other for favor, or to combine to create a third path with impact.
The message receiving what organizers described as a rare standing ovation at a summit where geopolitics and the future of Greenland is looming large.
Our commitment to NATO's Article 5 is unwavering. Canada strongly opposes tariffs over Greenland and calls for focused talks to achieve our shared objectives of security and prosperity in the Arctic.
Carney may get a chance to raise his concerns about Greenland directly to the U.S. president. While no meeting is currently scheduled between Carney and Donald Trump, the U.S. president will be here tomorrow at the same time as Mark Carney. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Davos, Switzerland.
Justin Trudeau is also in Davos, where he once again rejected any talk of Canada becoming the 51st U.S. state. The former prime minister was accompanied by his partner, pop star Katy Perry, who sat in the front row. Trudeau also spoke about Canada not meddling in other countries' affairs to take oil. He and Perry ducked out after his talk without speaking to Canadian journalists who attempted to ask them questions. The European Union is also pushing back on Greenland. Today, the bloc's top official criticized Donald Trump's plan to impose tariffs on countries that oppose a U.S. takeover of the island.
Above all, that Arctic security can only be achieved together. And this is why the proposed additional tariffs are a mistake, especially between long-standing allies.
The European Commission president insists Europe is fully committed to Arctic security. She says additional tariffs would only help the very adversaries both the U.S. and Europeans are trying to keep out of the region. Canada also says it strongly opposes the tariffs. Among the ongoing threats to Greenland, the U.S. president has posted some images online that are garnering attention. One is an AI-generated image depicting the U.S. president meeting in the Oval Office with European leaders. But have a look at that map. It shows the Western Hemisphere with American flags over Canada, Greenland, Cuba, and Venezuela. Another fake image shows Trump with an American flag and a sign saying Greenland was established as a U.S. territory in 2026. Winter has been unseasonably warm this year, and that means Victoria is enjoying some early cherry blossoms also ahead.
We want to just tell it with a prompt, go find me the best deal on this product.
Shopping can be a chore when you're trying to find the best deal. More Canadians are keen on using AI to help them, but how accurate is it? That's ahead on CTV News at 6. Take a look at this scene in Libya today as a severe dust storm swept through parts of North Africa. The city of Benghazi was covered by a heavy orange haze. Flights out of 2 international airports faced disruptions. The storm uprooted trees, caused property damage, and knocked out power for thousands of people. Back here at home, southern Vancouver Island has been experiencing a break from the gray and rainy weather over the past few days, and it has some taking notice of the early blooms. Downtown Victoria and James Bay are showing early signs of spring. According to Environment and Climate Change Canada, temperatures are unseasonably warm. The average daily high for the first 3 weeks of January is 7 degrees, but so far this year, the majority of days have seen highs above that. While the break from winter is welcome, one expert says it puts stress on species if a cold snap arrives.
Plants are supposed to go and do go into dormancy in the winter. As they start to grow when spring arrives, they start to use energy to start pitting blossoms, etc. If we get a February cold snap, a really cold snap, we're going to have troubles with it's because it stresses many species.
The average number of days above 10 degrees for January is 7. We have already hit 8 in January. That sets BC on track to beat the longest streak of 9 days from 2005. And amazing to see the cherry blossoms.
Yes.
They usually start blooming in February.
Yes, that's right. My daffodils are coming up, so very excited about that. Hoping we don't have a cold snap because, yes, a few years ago, my hyacinths completely died after they started flowering, so that was very disappointing.
Fingers crossed that they'll survive the rest of winter.
Exactly, but we have to survive the fog first. But first, take a look at this beautiful time lapse that was sent in from New Westminster. Ken sent this beautiful footage in. As you can see, the cloud pretty much covering the whole city, and that's what we can expect as we head into tomorrow morning as well, because we do have a yellow advisory for fog for the inland and east sections of Vancouver Island, the Sunshine Coast, and Metro Vancouver. We will be socked in through this evening, right through until tomorrow morning, so do take care of your for your early morning commute with limited visibility, and that's all thanks to this huge ridge of high pressure. It is dominating the whole province, but for us along the south coast, it is trapping in that moisture from the Strait of Georgia and the marine air, and that is keeping us pretty foggy as we head into the next until we head into tomorrow morning. So partly cloudy skies tonight. A fog rolls in after midnight, continuing into tomorrow morning around 8 a.m. But then slowly but surely things do clear up quite nicely. A mix of sun and cloud come noon. Mostly sunny skies, warming up to 8 degrees by 3 o'clock, and then it does cloud over as we head into tomorrow night. You will see cloudy conditions as well for the central interior. Your provincial forecast at the bottom of your screen. Mix of sun and cloud for Port Hardy, 6 degrees, mostly sunny skies, 9s for Campbell River and Comox. That's what you can expect for the South Island as well. From Tofino right down to Victoria with temperatures between 6 and 9 degrees. 6 degrees under mostly sunny skies for the Sunshine Coast. Warmer up the Sea to Sky Highway for Squamish at 8. Cooler for Whistler, 2 degrees. And for us across the Lower Mainland, once that fog clears, we'll see mostly sunny skies with temperatures between 8 and 9 degrees. Clouding over on Thursday, cooling down to 5. Back to seasonal temperatures on Friday under mostly sunny skies. Heading into the weekend, nice and bright. A few clouds for Saturday and Sunday, 5 degrees. On Monday, slight chance of seeing a shower, but it'll stay mostly dry with overcast conditions and a few breaks on Tuesday and a high of 7 degrees. CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations. And those overnight lows dropping below freezing, so make sure you bundle up.
Yeah, you got to be prepared to give yourself a little more time to scrape your car and get the frost
definitely
off. All right, thanks.
You're welcome.
With pickleball more popular than ever, there are growing calls to address the use of so-called crushed paddles. Turns out they can send balls flying at high speeds. And as CTV's Martin McMahon reports, many say the paddles threaten both the integrity and the safety of the sport.
At the Hollyburn Country Club in West Vancouver, eye protection is now mandatory for competitive play. While accidents are rare, they can be serious, and some in the pickleball community are warning about so-called crushed paddles, where the honeycomb core becomes compromised. It creates a trampoline effect where the ball can spring at a faster than normal speed.
And it causes these newer paddles to hit the ball harder and to have the ball come off faster off the face.
There are ways you can check your paddle according to Pickleball BC.
If you push the paddle in the middle, you'll hear cracking or it'll be spongy. So then you have to decide, well, do I still play with this and have an unfair advantage and maybe hurt somebody? No, we're not going to do that. So I'm going to get a new paddle.
Pickleball is generally played at a slower pace than other racket sports, allowing athletes to extend their playing days.
Our average age in our group is 81 and up. So you're looking at some players that are 87, 88. They're still playing. Probably not as well as they were 10 years ago, let's say, but they are playing, and it's great to see them out, getting exercise, and just enjoying the game.
But concerns over crushed paddles is renewing the discussion over the use of goggles or glasses. Darlene Lanchbury lost an eye in 2022 playing the sport in Williams Lake and urges everyone to protect their eyes.
The ball comes at you at a very high rate of speed from a very short distance, and your reaction time is a fraction of a second. Many high-level players have been hit in the eye, and you can get hit by your own teammate.
While the sport's proponents believe safety is key, they emphasize the health benefits of staying active, with 21,500 members registered with Pickleball BC. Martin McMahon, CTV News, West Vancouver.
How many Canadians think using AI to help them shop is a good thing? A word of caution, though, from experts. Also coming up.
I think it's a huge problem, to be honest. I wish I could cut down on my phone use.
Part of cutting screen time for kids, parents modeling screen-free time. A new policy from medical experts on the importance of real-life interactions for children. That's ahead.
Time now for tonight's Skywatch. Boats in the water at the Kitsilano Yacht Club under super foggy skies.
CTV Skywatch is brought to you by Kermac Collision and Autoglass, the name you'll remember when it matters. Kermac cares for kids.
Taking a look at today's markets, the Canadian dollar traded for 72 cents to the U.S. dollar. Oil was up just over $1, closing the day at 60.36 cents U.S. a barrel. Gold up $170 on the day. The TSX and the Dow Jones both ended the day lower, down 340 points and 870 points, respectively. Markets are clearly shaken under the dark cloud of threats made by Donald Trump. A new survey suggests more older Canadians are feeling less optimistic when it comes to aging. The National Institute on Aging says financial insecurity and loneliness are dampening how many people feel about their golden years. 57% say they still have positive feelings about aging, but that's down from 62% just a couple years ago. The Institute says the latest findings show that older adults increasingly can't afford to retire and feel socially isolated. The American Academy of Pediatrics has released a new policy statement on screen time for children. The new policy indicates that kids need more real-world interactions in early childhood. Screen time impacts sleep, language, and social skills and leads to more angry outbursts. It finds school-aged kids with too much screen time lose attention faster, struggle in school, and are at higher risk of weight gain. Teenagers with too much screen time can face higher levels of depression or anxiety.
So previous guidance largely focused on how much screen time kids should have and what parents should do. And this policy, what's new is it takes a real system-wide approach and recognizes that kids' digital lives are really shaped not just by families, but by schools, by industry design choices, and by public policy as well.
The policy suggests thinking carefully before handing your child their first phone, modeling healthy digital habits, adding parental controls, and carving out screen-free time for the entire family. A growing number of Canadians are open to having AI do their shopping for them. A new report suggests artificial intelligence is quickly becoming part of how Canadians shop, with more than half of shoppers open to AI completing the purchase. CTV's Dave Charbonneau reports.
It's a shopping trend which is catching on, using artificial intelligence, or AI, to shop and pay online.
Well, I mean, it's not a horrible idea, I would say.
Drew Roberts says the process of shopping can be a chore sometimes, and this new technology can help speed things up.
I guess there's definitely time consuming doing the shopping, right? So yeah, I mean, but they do have the apps now in some places. You see that, it's like just pick up, right?
One technology analyst says convenience is a big part of the appeal.
You know, we want it to be easier. We don't want to have to open up all these different apps and different websites and, you know, compare all sorts of different things on our smartphone in the middle of a store. Instead, we want to just tell it with a prompt, go find me the best deal on this product.
A report by payments company Adyen shows AI shopping is surging, especially with younger consumers. 45% of Gen Z and 44% of millennials in Canada use AI when shopping.
I use the ChatGPT to ask them what's the difference between two products, and they will give you all the details about those products.
The report found 51% of Canadians are open to artificial intelligence completing a purchase for them, and 30% say they're already using AI when they shop, up from 11% last year. But not everyone is ready to change their habits yet.
Would you ever use AI for your online shopping?
No.
To do all your shopping for you?
No, I wouldn't.
No, I will not use AI at all.
At this point, I'm not sure. I have a need for it.
No. Why not?
I just don't like using AI.
Retail analyst Bruce Winder says trust on using AI for shopping depends on the source of the data.
If you're on Amazon, they have their own built-in AI agent called Rufus, which is 100% accurate because it's all their data. But if you're not on Amazon and you're shopping through some of the other places or even searching through ChatGPT or what have you, there is still questions about the accuracy of the data.
As for retailers, the study shows that 78% are open to adapting to the new AI shopping technology. Dave Charbonneau, CTV News.
Two former Sluggers make it to the Baseball Hall of Fame, and the Blue Jays unveil their new patch to mark a milestone season. Plus, from helping to healing, Adam finds out how a man who suffered a debilitating injury learned to transform his adversity into an opportunity to help others. Next on the Sawatsky Sign Off. Right now, here's Carrie with a preview of your morning, Vancouver.
What can Canada offer to an uncertain world? Wednesday on Your Morning Vancouver, a closer look at the World Economic Forum in Davos and how Canada factors into the global stage. And is paying off your mortgage first the best money-saving strategy? A look at how you delegate your money could increase your net worth. We'll see you in the morning.
Canada Soccer has announced a pair of friendly matches in March in preparation for the World Cup. Canada will face Iceland on March 28th and Tunisia on the 31st, with both matches taking place in Toronto. Canada is also scheduled to play Uzbekistan in Edmonton on June 1st and one yet-to-be-named opponent later that week in Montreal. Canada will play two World Cup group stage matches here in Vancouver against Qatar on June 18th and Switzerland on the 24th. Two former MLB sluggers have received the call to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Carlos Beltran and Andrew Jones both received the 75% of votes needed to make the cut. Beltran hit 435 homers with 7 different teams during his 20-year career, while Jones hit just one less in his 17 seasons, most notably with the Atlanta Braves. Former Seattle Mariners ace Felix Hernandez received 46% of votes, up from 20% in last year's vote. There will be a blast from the past on the Toronto Blue Jays uniforms this season.
Franchises cement themselves in history. Years of building, years of grit, and pure joy.
The Blue Jays released a video on social media today with the caption, "From coast to coast to coast, generation to generation, 50 seasons, Canada's team." The Jays unveiled a retro 50th anniversary logo to mark the milestone. Game tickets for the upcoming season go on sale Thursday. The first game is March the 27th. For the first time in the sport's 76-year history, Audi is entering Formula One. The German manufacturer held a stunning launch event at a historic power station in Berlin, showing off its new silver car with carbon black and signature Audi red colors. The lights on the F1 season go green on March 7th in Melbourne, Australia. It wasn't the best night for them here on the South Coast, but the Northern Lights were on display for some lucky people. The Russian Space Agency shared this video from the ISS taken by a Russian cosmonaut who witnessed the Northern Lights from a unique perspective. The lights could be seen in many parts of the world, including these stunning visuals from Germany last night. And check this out. Pilot Matt Melnick took these photos from 37,000 feet, saying it was the most incredible display he's seen in his 20 years of flying. And even here in Metro Vancouver, you could catch a glimpse of the Northern Lights if you're lucky. This video was taken from Burnaby Mountain between 10 p.m. last night and 2 a.m. this morning. Hopefully a sign that we may be able to spot them again tonight if the weather cooperates. Or you just have to be high enough,
Exactly.
right?
That's the thing. Go above the fog and you should be fine.
Yeah, there's like two parallel worlds happening, right?
Yes.
One above the fog, it's nice and sunny, and then
And where we
here,
live in pea soup land.
yeah, it's like Halloween. Okay, we'd like to welcome a new member to our CTV Vancouver team. A big congratulations to our Reagan Hasegawa and Herb Ramos, who are now the proud parents of Camila Sakura Ramos.
Aww.
Her name honoring her Latina and Japanese heritage. As you can see, her two big sisters are just over the moon. Dad says Camila completes the three amigas.
Amazing.
Congratulations to all of them. Herb is definitely outnumbered now, isn't he?
Exactly. He's a girl dad times 3 now.
He's got 4 strong women around him pretty soon. Okay, we'll get to the Sawatsky sign-off. Dimitra here now with a preview of tonight at 11:30.
Yeah, that's right. We'll be with you guys again. Jung, tonight we're continuing to cover the Natural Resource Forum in Prince George. Premier David Eby is fresh off his trip from India and is set to give the keynote address at the forum, speaking to movers and shakers in the natural resource sector. That all coming up at 11:30.
All right, thanks a lot, Dem. Okay, it was a life-changing accident that forced a Vancouver man to relearn everything from scratch. On tonight's Sawatsky sign-off, Adam finds out why he decided to give back instead of mourn what he's lost.
One moment.
Oh. Uh-oh.
He's riding his bike.
Uh-oh.
Before suddenly collapsing.
And it happened like that.
The next moment, Ryan Heitinen was waking up in the hospital.
I forgot everything.
What do you mean by that?
Everything.
Not only did Ryan not remember who he was, he didn't know he was married with kids, let alone recognize the woman saying she was his mom.
I'm terrified.
Anne says her son had suffered a stroke before enduring brain surgery and being unresponsive for weeks.
At that point, they weren't sure if he was even going to make it.
Until one day, Ryan's wife and kids walked into his hospital room.
His face just lit up. Absolutely lit up.
I suddenly remembered I have a daughter and a son.
And we all kind of went, okay, this is what he needed. He needed a purpose.
Inspired by his family, Ryan has fought to learn how to do the most basic things again. And with the help of his healthcare team, is celebrating previously unimaginable accomplishments.
I would not have survived without them.
And Ryan would not be thriving.
Laughter is a thing.
Like when a condition called aphasia makes him unable to communicate with words, Ryan chooses to smile.
Smiling makes the world go round.
And after losing the ability to use his right arm and hand...
This is my 3D workspace.
Ryan taught himself how to use a 3D printer to design all sorts of adaptive tools, ranging from one-handed nail clippers to one-handed toothpaste dispensers.
I want to give back.
So Ryan started putting up posters offering to custom print all of his inventions to people in need, for free.
To change lives would be the best that I could be.
And instead of mourning what he's lost, Ryan is choosing to celebrate all the good he can find.
And you have to find joy in your life. And Ryan has done that.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Vancouver.
The Sawatsky Sign-Off, brought to you by
Capital Direct. ctv.ca.
Let's make your vision a reality with Capital Direct. Call and talk to our team today.
Wow.
Incredible that Ryan made that recovery.
Truly. I mean, Adam unearths these amazing stories, but what a medical miracle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's doing it all with just one arm.
Yeah,
Incredible.
Inspirational. All right, let's take a look at our scenic snapshot for tonight. The beautiful Aurora Borealis, again, is seen from Burnaby Mountain. Thanks, Ramon, for sending this one in. And we want to see your scenic snapshot as well. So email us at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
Well, clearly, Burnaby Mountain seems the place to go if you want to see the Aurora Borealis.
So everybody go there. Send us more pictures tonight.
All right, thanks for joining us. Demetra will be back tonight at 11:30. Have a great evening.